A simple invitation arrives or a minor request is made. You need to say no, but instead of a clear answer, your heart rate spikes. You find yourself launching into a desperate 10-minute explanation of exactly why you can't do it. In the moment, it feels completely involuntary. The words spill out as if declining a coffee date or a small favor is a personal failing that requires immediate correction. This behavior suggests something deeper than a habit of bad communication. It points toward an unconscious search for permission to exist. This constant need to justify your boundaries represents a significant surrender of your personal power. We are often conditioned to be overly accommodating, taught to prioritize the comfort of others and navigate carefully around their emotions. We may believe we are being kind, but this focus on the listener is often a strategy to avoid the friction of conflict. Every unnecessary justification creates a leakage effect, slowly draining your internal authority one excuse at a time. When the goal is to make sure everyone else feels perfectly comfortable, you are engaging in a form of continuous self-abandonment. Carl Jung identified this constant need to justify choices as the primary symptom of a poorly healed psychological wound. This often starts in childhood, in environments where personal feelings were mocked, ignored, or treated as an inconvenience. That environment creates a dangerous internalized rule. It teaches that your feelings only have validity once someone else approves of them. This forces you into an endless loop where you try to control how others perceive you just to belong. In adulthood, compulsive over-explaining operates as an unconscious trauma response, a defense mechanism built specifically to avoid the threat of abandonment or judgment. Jung warned that this childhood mechanism manifests in adult interactions as a sophisticated form of submission. Shaping your words solely to avoid displeasing a listener is an act of continuous self-betrayal. This dynamic signals to the person you are speaking to that your boundaries, and by extension, your needs, depend entirely on their permission. Manipulative people look for this specific vulnerability, feeding on the fear of being misunderstood to maintain control. As long as you rely on these explanations to maintain your space, you are handing your psychological control to anyone willing to listen. The path out of this cycle is the cultivation of what Jung called internal authority. This is the ability to validate your own subjective experience without relying on the approval of others. Reaching this state requires traversing the desert of inner solitude. It is the moment where the instinct to please others begins to panic, and you must choose to keep moving forward alone. That choice allows you to hold a firm no without presenting evidence or building an elaborate argument to back it up. You find psychological freedom when you realize that if something is true for you, it does not require a defense to exist. When you stop over-explaining, the power dynamics around you shift immediately. A secure silence acts like this stone wall. It doesn't respond, it doesn't justify, and it refuses to dance to the rhythms of emotional manipulation. Speaking too much can expose your intentions and leak your power. Choosing silence, however, becomes a powerful affirmation of your worth. An integrated person communicates their truth, but they do not beg for the space to occupy it. They simply occupy it. You can strike a blow against that people-pleasing instinct today by embracing a simple law of boundaries. No is a complete sentence.